When someone you love suddenly becomes silent, no calls, no messages, no explanation, the world continues to move while you feel frozen. There is no final argument or tearful goodbye to mark the end, just a sudden, empty stop. It usually starts with a delay in replies. Then your messages stay unread for days. Eventually, the person who once held your closest secrets fades out until they are just a stranger who happens to hold your memories. That total lack of communication creates a profound information vacuum. You are cut off from the narrative of your own relationship, left with absolutely no context for why the connection was severed. This absence of a formal ending forces the brain into a paralyzing form of grief. Human psychology is wired to seek patterns and conclusions, so the mind begins a desperate, exhausting search for an ending that doesn't exist. Most people respond to this silence by turning the blame inward. You begin to question yourself, wondering if you were too much, or perhaps not enough, assuming your own flaws caused the disappearance. This assumption triggers a cycle called the overthinking loop. You find yourself searching through old texts to find hidden meanings. You formulate a hypothesis for your failure, assume the blame, and return to the start to look for more evidence. The heaviest pain usually arrives at night, when you realize you aren't just missing them, you are grieving the version of yourself that trusted deeply enough to believe they would stay. Staying in this state of perpetual questioning creates an emotional prison. It ties your sense of self-worth to the behavior of someone who has already demonstrated they will not communicate with you. Even a painful argument requires emotional investment. It shows there is still something to fight for. Silence, however, indicates that the emotional withdrawal happened long ago. The heart left the room before the words disappeared. To navigate this, we have to look at the mechanics of intent. In any relationship, consistent effort is never absent when the intention to stay is present. By plotting observable effort against true intent, a clear correlation emerges. When effort drops to zero, it aligns with a total lack of intent. We call this bottom right quadrant comfortable loss. They are aware of the pain, but choose inaction. A person who chooses to consistently avoid the effort of a single text or call has revealed their capacity for love. Regardless of what they once promised, their current choice shows they no longer value the connection. You can stop treating the lack of a message as a mystery that requires a solution. There is no missing information that will suddenly make the silence feel logical. Silence is a loud, deliberate, and active answer. It is a statement made through inaction. Distancing is often a way to deliver closure without facing accountability. By disappearing, they are ending the relationship while avoiding the discomfort of a difficult conversation or the weight of your reaction. Accepting no response as a definitive response provides the finality your brain has been searching for. It replaces the confusion of the void with the clarity of a hard fact. Many people stay stuck because they believe they are owed an apology or a detailed explanation. They feel they cannot begin to heal until the other person explains exactly why they left. This is the myth of the explanation. True closure is an internal act of self-acceptance. It is a decision you make for yourself, completely independent of the person who walked away. Waiting for a ghoster to provide clarity effectively hands them the keys to your emotional recovery. It keeps you in a state of passive waiting, hoping for a message that may never arrive. By choosing to accept the goodbye that was never spoken, you reclaim your emotional agency. The healing begins when you stop waiting for their permission to move on. Your intrinsic value is not a variable based on someone else's attention. It does not decrease simply because someone else lacked the capacity to appreciate it. Use this experience to set a new standard for your future. Look for partners who prioritize communication over confusion and consistent effort over excuses. Protect your peace. Choosing to walk away quietly without begging for a reason is the highest form of self-respect. It is the moment you decide your time is too valuable to spend on someone who has already left. Responding to a silent goodbye with your own silent departure is a powerful way to reclaim your story. It proves that you no longer need their words to know your own worth.